As Southeast Asia reopens to travel and the aviation industry mounts its recovery, Singapore recently held the biannual aviation event, the Singapore Airshow 2022, at the Changi Exhibition Center just outside of the Changi Airport. While not as big as years prior, this year's edition of one of the premier aviation events in Southeast Asia attracted more than 13,000 trade attendees and around 600 participating companies from more than 39 countries and regions around the world. According to the organizers, this represents more than 70% of the top 20 global aerospace companies. With the presence of major global figures in the aviation industry, this past week's Singapore Airshow played host to some of the headlines made in the aviation industry. So with that said, this video will take a look at some of the big stories which coincided with the Singapore Airshow. To open this video, we'll start off with the aircraft orders, which by now is a recurring headline during these kind of events. Following the Dubai Airshow in the fall of 2021, freighter aircraft again took the center stage of orders made at the Singapore Airshow. Things started with hometown airline Singapore Airlines finalizing its order for 7 Airbus A350 freighters it initially announced in December of 2021. Leading up to the Singapore Airshow, the A350 freighter has been getting attention and orders from other airlines, and this year's event saw another major order, this time from Abu Dhabi-based Etihad. During the Singapore Airshow, Etihad signed a letter of intent with Airbus to acquire 7 Airbus A350 freighters, joining the likes of Singapore Airlines and KLM Air France in placing orders for the cargo version of the A350. Meanwhile, Boeing also reported a new order for 777 freighters, this time from Estero, Florida-based cargo airline Western Global Airlines. The order for Western Global Airlines would see the firm acquiring 2 777 freighters, along with an additional option, which was finalized in January of 2022. Prior to the Singapore Airshow, Western Global Airlines was not identified in the order and was listed in Boeing's order backlog as unidentified. While the Boeing and Airbus duopoly saw orders for cargo aircraft, it was Airbus that got another order for passenger aircraft, this time for the Airbus A220s. This order for A220s came from US airline JetBlue, which announced an order for an additional 30 A220-300s. Currently operating 8 of the jets, this new order by JetBlue will bring the total number of A220-300s ordered by the airline to 100. In addition to the new orders logged for Boeing and Airbus, some of the other smaller aircraft manufacturers like Embraer and ATR also saw some orders, and we'll start with Embraer. Around the time of the start of the Singapore Airshow on February 15, Embraer reported that American Airlines ordered an additional 3 E175 aircraft. This order will be in addition to American Airlines, which will be using the aircraft with its wholly owned subsidiary Envoy Air, and the airline will have a total of 100 of the E175s by year end. Meanwhile, we also saw another aircraft acquisition for ATR aircraft, this time from Indian-based Alliance Air. Announced by ATR, Alliance Air will be acquiring 2 ATR 72-600 aircraft via lease from TrueNord, adding to the fleet of 18 of the turboprops already used by the airline. Built for operating in challenging conditions, the aircraft would be used to serve remote and challenging airstrips in the Himalayas with short runways at high altitudes. For some observers, this may be seen as an underwhelming event with some small orders, even for the likes of Airbus and Boeing. However, there is some optimism with the future of aviation, which could be electric vertical takeoff and landing vehicles, which could change the way we commute around cities. Smaller than commercial aircraft and more similar to some of the personal vehicles you may see on roads today, Singapore Airshow was a platform for some of the companies that are promoting the use of energy-efficient aircraft using electric power, while also offering low-cost and efficient transportation around most major cities. While you may not be familiar with some of these eVTOL companies, some of these companies are partnering with major airlines around the world. One of those airlines, AirAsia, which revolutionized budget travel in Asia, is now setting its sights to do it once again, this time in urban air mobility. The Malaysia-based budget airline brand signed an agreement with aircraft leasing company Avalon for the lease of 100 eVTOL aircraft, specifically the VX4 from Vertical Aerospace. With a single pilot and equipped to handle 4 passengers, the VX4 will have a range of around 100 miles with a speed of 200 miles per hour. It is one of several eVTOL aircraft made by manufacturers with the aim of opening up transportation across cities. Along with the lease of the eVTOL aircraft, AirAsia and Avalon will be working together to develop and promote urban air mobility in Southeast Asia. Another firm that made headlines in this field is Embraer-backed Eve Air Mobility. During the Singapore Airshow, Eve Air Mobility signed major deals with several firms in Australia and Japan with the aim of bringing the electric urban aerial vehicles for flights by 2026. So there you have it. These are just some of the major headlines that were made during the Singapore Airshow 2022. Now, I do want to mention that there were some maintenance deals between airlines and aircraft manufacturers, though the Singapore Airshow did give us some stuff to look forward to, especially in the future of urban air mobility and how we get around cities. Following the Singapore Airshow, this is something that will be gaining more attention in future aviation-related events. Which of the deals from the Singapore Airshow 2022 do you find the most interesting? I'd definitely love to hear your take on this, though in the meantime, this has been Flights in Asia, highlighting the news and updates from the aviation and travel scene in the Asia Pacific. For more news and updates, you can check out the website at www.flightsinasia.com. Thank you for watching and have a great day.